Today we're going to explore death. The death of the creator and the death of their YouTube channel. They don't always correlate. I'm going to have another video about when the channel doesn't die, even though a creator has passed away. But today we're going to talk about the ones that basically did pass away with the creator. You know, YouTube is more than just a platform. It's personal, right? And we actually begin to feel, I'm sure you feel this way with some of the channels you watch, like we know these people. I remember when Bruce Rivers, who's a criminal attorney who does reaction videos, his son passed away. Michael passed away, I think like in November of 25. And when I found out about that, I was really devastated. You know, I felt like I knew this kid. And right now I'm watching, I think it's called Scouts Outdoors or something like that. It's got over 500,000 subscribers. This is Kelly and Matt Clark, who are living up in Newfoundland on basically a deserted island. And she's pregnant. She's 9 months pregnant. Today's April 23rd. We haven't heard anything if she's delivered yet, but she's actually 10 months pregnant. You know, she's a number of weeks overdue, and they finally got her to the mainland, thank God, but they still didn't take her to see a doctor. Unbelievable. They take the dog to see the vet, but they don't take her to see the doctor. So, you know, you just become very engaged with the creators. And that's one of the main reasons the channel is just going to fizzle away when the creator dies, because nobody can really tell that person's story like that person can. I'm going to talk about specific channels, and then at the end I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do to make sure that your channel lives on after you pass away. We're going to start with Technoblade, which I had to look him up because I'm not a Minecraft person. But he apparently had millions of subscribers. He was huge. His name was Alexander, and he was born June 1st, 1999, and then died in June of 2022. He ended up having metastatic sarcoma, which he passed away from. I don't know if you can hear that, but my phone is ringing in the other room. So annoying, because it's just scam likely. You know, once you hit a certain age, 90% of the phone calls you get are from scammers. Anyway, where was I? So he dies in 2022, and about 3 years later, his family or friends or crew or somebody uploaded a video asking people to subscribe because they wanted him or that channel to be able to get 20 million, was it? Yeah, 20 million subs before his birthday on June 1st, which they reached that. And that was a video that was, there were videos that were spliced together with footage that had been pre-recorded. So that's another thing to think about, if whether or not you want to have, if you know, like this guy knew that he was sick and that he was going to pass, do you want to make videos that are going to play of you after people know that you are no longer with us? I'll dive into that in a different video probably in a couple of weeks. But that's what this family did. They asked for more subscribers, which they got. But to be honest with you, Technoblade basically just died out when he did, because, like I said, nobody can do it like he could do it. I mean, he just had his own way of doing things, and even though he had some videos by his father were put up, it just doesn't really work anymore. Because, and you're going to see that in a couple of the other ones, like the very next one, the Angry Grandpa. Oh, this was not good. The Angry Grandpa, his channel started in 2010, And this guy's name was Charles Green, and he died in December of 2017. But the channel basically became inactive, and his secondary channels were discontinued. But part of the reason that really his channel sort of died out was because his nitwit son, Michael, decided to, the day after this guy dies, he links a video, he puts a video up and links it to their merch page, like "Rip Angry Grandpa," and people got pissed off. You know, it's very disrespectful. And then sure enough, this same kid, Michael, he launches his own channel trying to exploit his father's 2 million subscribers. But that went down in flames because nobody likes this guy. He would pull pranks on his family and his little nephews and stuff. You know, this guy's a bit of a schmuck, in my ever so humble opinion. I only watched a couple of these videos and I'm like, ugh. So I could see why not only does the creator's channel die out, you know, the son who's trying to exploit his father's success, that fails too. Now the other one was sort of interesting. This is another grandpa. This is called Grandpa's Corner. This one I actually recognized because I had seen some of these videos. This is a guy, Narayana Reddy was his name, and he was from India. And he didn't speak any English, and he wore very traditional garb, but he would make these huge, giant meals that he would give to orphans. And he became very, very popular. So now this was a little bit different in that the family members, I think they were nephews, they did try to continue with what he had been doing. But, you know, it's just not quite the same because his nephew, I have his name in here someplace, but it doesn't matter. His nephew speaks English. This guy did not. And he just had a certain feel and a love. I mean, this guy, before he became a YouTuber, this older gentleman, he was a gardener. You know, he was just humble people. He was just a nice guy. And it doesn't quite ring the same when you have somebody else in the family or maybe a friend, or it just doesn't ring the same. He died on October 27th, 2019 at 73. And his family notified the YouTube community, right, that he had died. And they uploaded, that was about 3 days later, they uploaded a video, which they did not link to their merch page. But like I said, you know, other family members have tried to take over this channel, but even though they're sort of kind of doing the same thing, it's the same. Now this person I hadn't heard of, but apparently he was pretty famous. This guy is Oni El Du, or Dews. I'll spell it on the screen for you. He was a young gamer. He was Palestinian, and he ended up dying on the first day of the Gaza war. He got hit, you know, Israel had sent out some kind of a something. What did they do? An airstrike. It says his content gained popularity after he was killed by an Israeli airstrike on the first night of the Gaza war. So that was October 7th, 2023. But so, you know, he passes away, and then all of a sudden there's, you know, a lot of people show interest in him. So his subscribership grows, but his content just basically stopped because he was the one that did it, and it just stopped after that. So it stopped growing. You know, I've been doing a lot of searching on YouTube trying to find channels that are like this. This whole channel is meant to help creators figure out how to protect their digital assets so that when they pass, there's a smooth transition. So I have been, searching on YouTube all these, death of creator, death of YouTube channel. So what am I getting? Oh my God. I'm getting inundated with suggested videos of people who are just on the screen and they say, well, if you're watching this, it means I've passed away. I was like, oh my God. And then they've extrapolated that out to videos that talk about people saying, I'm done. They don't mean that they're done because they're dying. They mean they're done because they're sick of YouTube or for whatever personal reason they have. They're just done and they're out. So it's been a very depressing channel for me to watch, just because they keep suggesting all these very sad videos about people who are dying. But I did see one shoot. I was going to write her name down too. Is it a woman, I'm going to say in her 50s, 60s, something like that. She was dying of cancer, and apparently she was making a lot of videos about that whole situation, about her struggle with cancer. And I subscribed to her, but I happened to watch this last video. In fact, I looked in the comments of that video and somebody says, this just showed up on my feed. I don't know why. The same thing happened to me. It just showed up on my feed. And, she was about to take some kind of a lethal cocktail to end her life peacefully and with dignity. I have no problem with euthanasia, by the way. I know a lot of people do, but I don't. And so anyway, I digress. Wait a minute. Let me get to the next one. I only have a few. I have maybe 6 or 7. So this one is Talia, coming up as Talia Castellano. Kind of similar. She was a makeup vlogger, and she died in 2013. But her family tried to keep her channel alive. But that at this point, it's more like a tribute channel for her, which is a lot of times what happens because, the regular creative output just stops. So it oftentimes turns into in memoriam or some kind of tribute channel. Then there's this German guy, Jan Zimmerman, and he was known for sharing his life with Tourette's. So I'm not sure how this plays out, if his channels were in German or if they were in English. And, if somebody has Tourette's and they're fluent in one language, do they also suffer from Tourette's if they know another language? I don't know. But supposedly the channel was pretty funny. He passed away suddenly in 2025. And that, as you can imagine, that channel basically ended as far as the new content, because who else could tell that story? Nobody else could tell that story. Even his family members can't tell that story. So that passes away. I'm going to skip right through Comicstorian because I really didn't know anything about him. But then this is somebody that I have heard of, Grant Thompson. And he's the king of random. And he did a lot of DIY videos. And so Grant Thompson, he started his channel basically in late 2011. And it's mainly DIY stuff and life hacks. And he did some very dangerous things. And in fact, he got slapped with a lawsuit. He got slapped with a lawsuit in 2018 about explosives. Charged with 2 counts of second-degree felony possession of an explosive device for allegedly conducting incendiary experiments in his backyard. He faced a max of 15 years, but he was able to work a plea deal with them, and they dropped the charges if he would do 2 YouTube videos about physical safety and or the legal risks associated with experiments that could be dangerous. So that was January of 2018. Well, the next year, July 29th of 2019, he dies in a paragliding accident in Utah. In fact, the thing was filmed, and he had his camera going, and he had a GPS with him, which was how the authorities were able to find him. But as you can imagine, that channel ended with him as well. You know, there are just thousands, countless creators that when they pass away, their channels pass away, like fitness and cooking and gardening and you know, trout fishers, and you know, they just pass away. But some of that stuff is evergreen. So you have to think about that. You know, if you're monetized and you've got some AdSense coming in, you want to do a couple of things. First of all, you need to build some kind of a system so that you can hand it off to somebody else. It's a lot easier, obviously, if people know that they have cancer and that their time is coming. It's a whole lot more difficult when all of a sudden there's a paragliding accident or there's a car accident, or like Bruce Rivers' kid, you know, he ends up dying of an overdose. So you just don't know. And you really need to have some kind of system that you can pass along to somebody else. And you need to plan for that continuity. I have, if it's not up yet, it will be up soon. Subscribe so you don't miss it. A whole video about a digital asset protection plan. If it's not up yet, I'll put it in. If it is up, I'll put it in the description. If it's not up, I'll put it into the description as soon as I can. And that's basically all I wanted to say. Just remember, you know, so many of these channels, it's all about you. People come to your channel for you, not for, you know, your brother-in-law. And you want to be able to figure out how you can manage your channel, or not you, but how someone else can manage your channel if you're not around. So thank you for watching. Again, my name is Beverly Black. This is Creator Asset Protection, and I hope to see you in the next video. I am going to do one that's a little bit more positive, that talks about channels that did survive after the creator passed away. I'll talk to you later.